So I've seen a few people talk about their experiences between owning a cheap Thunderbolt 4, cord and the more expensive ones like the ones that Apple makes. And what's very interesting is I actually don't think there's that big of a difference between either one of these cords. So personally, I bought a few different ones. I bought the brand new one from Apple. That one was really, really nice and I like that one a lot. But I also bought a Belkin one that was significantly cheaper. The Belkin one I actually bought used and I think I bought that one for probably like not even $20. The Thunderbolt 3 one I bought from Apple though was about $37. I think the Belkin one I probably paid like $10 for or $15 for all together. And the thing is that after owning both, there are definitely some improvements when going with the Apple route, if I'm being honest. So the very first time that I actually purchased these two cords, I bought them completely separate times. And the reasoning for that was because with my Thunderbolt 4 port from Belkin, I actually thought the cord was actually broken. So when I plugged it in for the first time, I was like, oh, okay, like this was a used cord, so I should understand it because I did not understand how Thunderbolt worked at all. So I was like, okay, whatever, it's fine. And then I noticed that whenever I plugged in my, I think M1 MacBook at the time to my LG Ultrafine 5K display, it kept messing up and I was like, is the cord really that big of a problem? But then I found out that my monitor was the issue. So I ended up replacing that monitor. At that time, this was like 2 years ago almost. And guess what? The cord started functioning perfectly fine. But by that point, I actually ended up buying another Thunderbolt 3 cord, which was actually the one that Apple made. So this was the Apple Thunderbolt 3, USB-C cable. This was the 0.8 meter one. Now, why is that important? Well, mostly because the one that I got from Belkin is actually 0.5 meters. So the one from Belkin is actually shorter than the one that I received from Apple. So definitely if you're comparing the price tags, you may just want to keep in mind that the sizing of these specific wires can, have some differences there too. It may not be the biggest thing ever, but that is the first thing that I've kind of saw when I was going from, one of the cheaper ones to one of the more expensive ones is the size is going to be one of the biggest differences you're going to be seeing here. Now, another thing that I noticed from my daily usage of using these wires, there wasn't a big, massive difference if I'm being honest. If my monitor was completely functional for the few months that I used that Belkin wire and it was perfectly fine for like the years now that I've used this Thunderbolt 3 cord, I've had no differences in terms of anything. The sound works fine, the power works fine, it charges up my laptop. In fact, actually, my Apple one nowadays is actually going through and I don't know why, but it's like messing up. It's not charging my laptop overnight, which is weird. So I'll plug in my MacBook overnight to my monitor and let it sleep, and then I'll wake up and it's not charged. So I'm not really too sure what's going on there, but the thing to keep in mind, the products that work with the, USB-C Thunderbolt, cord are also going to work with the Belkin one as well. So whichever specific, cord you actually use, it's not going to be that big of a difference because the, products work exactly the same. Now, I could see in the future Apple wanting to optimize their specific Apple cord a little bit more. I could completely see that type of situation going on too. But otherwise, I don't think there's going to be that big of a difference there either. So when it comes down to it, from my experience of using both of these cords, I don't think you're going to be noticing a big difference. Either way, you either go from like the Belkin one, or you go to the Apple one, or you go from like another one that's like a $30 one, or you go to a shorter one. The ones that I've used, and I've used about 2 of them right now, it hasn't really been that big of a difference. Like I mentioned, if my specific wire was working before the Belkin, then I don't really think I would have ever bought the Apple one. But since my monitor was the issue, that was kind of the problem that was going on there. So luckily for us, these wires have actually gone down a little bit more, so it's not as big of a difference anymore. But that kind of covers up basically. But I will tell you, if you want to save some money, I think getting a cheaper one is not a bad deal at all. But if you want to feel more comfortable, then maybe getting the Apple one is the better way for you. So that kind of covers it up. If you have any other thoughts or questions, let me know in the comment section below. Hit the like button, that'll mean so much, but definitely hit that subscribe button. More importantly than everything else, I love every single one of you guys. Hopefully I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace out till then.